Money, power, luxury. Imagine earning millions of dollars a month, living in mansions, attending huge parties, and driving luxury cars. But what if all of that was built on one of the biggest financial frauds in history? This is the true story of Jordan Belfort, the man known as the Wolf of Wall Street, and who inspired the famous film The Wolf of Wall Street, directed by Martin Scorsese and starring Leonardo DiCaprio. But what really happened behind the fame, the money, and the downfall? Jordan Belfort was born in 1962 in the Queens neighborhood of New York City. From a young age, he demonstrated an enormous talent for sales. As a teenager, Belfort earned thousands of dollars selling ice cream on the beach. He had something rare: charisma, persuasive skills, and enormous ambition. But none of that prepared the world for what was to come. In the 1980s, Belfort got his first job as a stockbroker. He worked at L.F. Rothschild, a traditional Wall Street firm. There he learned the basics of the financial market. But on his very first day, something struck him. An experienced broker told him, "The goal here isn't to help the client, it's to make money." Shortly after, the market crashed during Black Monday. The firm where Belfort worked ended up closing. He became unemployed. But this crisis would end up changing everything. After losing his job, Belfort started working selling penny stocks. These are very cheap shares of small companies. And they had an important characteristic: the commissions were enormous. While normal stocks paid about 1% commission, these stocks could pay up to 50%. Belfort realized he could make a lot of money if he convinced people to buy these stocks. And he was incredibly good at it. In the late 1980s, Belfort founded his own brokerage firm, Stratton Oakmont. The company started small, but it grew rapidly. Belfort trained young salespeople to use an aggressive sales method known as cold calling. They called thousands of people offering unmissable investments. The goal was simple: to convince investors to buy stocks that were actually almost worthless. The great secret of Belfort's empire was a scheme called pump and dump. It works like this. The brokerage firm buys many cheap shares of a company. The salespeople convince investors to buy these shares. The price artificially rises. The company sells everything and keeps the profit. Meanwhile, the investors are left with shares that soon lose almost all their value. This scheme generated hundreds of millions of dollars, but it also caught the attention of the authorities. With so much money coming in, Belfort began to live a completely extravagant lifestyle. There were giant parties in the office, luxury cars, helicopters, mansions. The culture within the company was completely chaotic. Drugs, extravagance, and easy money were part of the routine. This life was eventually portrayed iconically in the film The Wolf of Wall Street. Eventually, authorities began investigating the company. The Federal Bureau of Investigation launched a major investigation into Stratton Oakmont's activities. After years of investigation, the evidence was clear: financial fraud, market manipulation, money laundering. Belfort was arrested and convicted. In the following years, Belfort spent time in prison. After his release, he completely changed his life. He wrote the book The Wolf of Wall Street, which tells his story. This book was eventually adapted into a film by Martin Scorsese, with Leonardo DiCaprio in the lead role. The film became a huge worldwide success. The story of The Wolf of Wall Street is both fascinating and dangerous. It shows how far boundless ambition can take someone. But it also leaves a question: is the greatest danger of money when it arrives too quickly?